Hey YouTube, how you doing? It's Andy Michaels. Hope everyone is doing well out there today or tonight or this morning, whenever you might be watching this video. Doing a little bit different thing today. I'm actually going to take you through the process of the recording of a song from start to finish, instead of just uploading my finished product of my songs that I've been uploading here recently. So I'll take you through, starting from figuring out how the song is going to be written, all the way through the end recording. So this ought to be fun. You ready? um, so it might be educational for those of you that want to learn how to do stuff like this, whether it be recording a song or recording any kind of audio. If you want to do your own kind of show, radio show, YouTube show, whatever happens to be, and you need some audio recorded, and you want to record the show and then play it back later, you can do it this way. So it might be educational in that sense, or it might be just entertainment for those of you who are curious of how it's done. So I'm gonna take you through that process, and so it's gonna be a good time. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so here's my handy dandy 6-channel audio mixer, and I tell you, this thing's got some history to it. I played in a band for many years, and we actually used this on live shows many times. It's been good. There's my direct box. I run my guitar through that. There's my drum/guitar effect machine. It is the Digitech RP55, as you can see. It's got about 40 different effects in it. I use number 5 a lot. It's also got my drum machine in it, so that's how I create the drums in my songs. It's got a broken button there. First thing I'm going to show you is the last song I did, completed, what it looks like in Audition, in my audio editing here, as it loads the tracks. So basically, yeah, that's what the finished songs basically look like. I've got my drum tracks, I've got my rhythm 1, rhythm 2, my lead guitar, and then all my vocals down here. I usually don't do any bass guitar because I don't have a bass. I'm not a bass player, so most of my songs, or probably all my songs, don't have any bass in. But when I go in to professionally record an album, which I plan to do sometime this year, 2017, Happy New Year, by the way, then I do have a bass player from my old band that I'm going to bring in, and I'll have a professional drummer as opposed to a drum machine and all that stuff. But for the purposes of these YouTube videos, this is what I use. So that is the last song, and that's what it's going to look like at the finished product. But what we're going to go do is we're going to open a new session, which I use a template called Untitled to start out, which has nothing in it, because I have to have a session titled in order to record in the multi-track here, as opposed to just recording over here in edit view, which is just one track at a time. So this is stuff that was from the last song. I can close all that out by closing unused media. So now there's nothing loaded here. There's nothing in the multi-track. And I've got my template here. I've got drums, track 1, rhythm, track 2, rhythm, track 3, lead, track 4, and vocals on track 5. Sometimes I'll use track 6 for various other things if I want to add some extra background or backup vocals, things like that. So we've got the Untitled session, and obviously the first thing we're going to do is lay down the drums. And I've got my drum machine. So I'm going to arm the drum track by hitting the R button there, record. And notice that I've got this monitoring down here on external as opposed to the Audition mix. Because if I hit that Audition mix while I'm live using my microphone, that'll feed back in, because it's basically letting you monitor what you're recording. So that's going to feed directly back into the system, and it's going to give me feedback. So we don't want to do that. We want it on external monitoring. And then if I do have that selected as audition mix, which I do a lot of times when I'm recording drums and guitar, just not vocals. But even if I am recording vocals, I will just hit the mute button, which actually I could show you that now. If I change this to audition mix, you see now it's feeding back. I hit the mute button and it's gone. So so a lot of times I'll do it that way. But when I'm recording drums, I can't have it muted because I got to be able to hear what's going on, because I can't hear it any other way. So let's change this back to external, and then we'll unmute this. The track is armed, so we're going to hit record down here. And okay, yeah, it's obviously recording my voice, which I don't want it to do. Not on my drum track. So I can't record the drums while I'm talking because it's going to add in my vocals, because the mic's coming in the same line input in the computer with the way I'm set up here as the drum machine, which, as you can see here, it's recording my vocals right now. So so you're not going to get to see that actual part. What I will show you, though, what it looks like. I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna just delete that recording, and then I'm gonna restart it and hit the drum machine. Okay, drum machine's on. Hit record, and there you can see if I unmute it and change it. Well, I can't change it when it's recording, but it's recording the drums. I believe I already had a track recorded, but this is how the drums get laid down. I will basically, sometimes I'll just mute it anyway, because I don't want to wait, 5 to 8 minutes or whatever, how long the song might be, for the drum track to lay down, so I'll just let it go while I'm doing other things. So I'm going to shut that off, and then you'll get to see later on in the process the finished product as far as the drum track, but you'll see how that goes down. So the next thing after the drums would be to take that off, because we're no longer arming that track, and then we're going to arm this track and also mute it so I don't get feedback on the guitar. And I would hit the space bar for play, and I would play my guitar into overtop the drum track. So that basically gives him my rhythm and my, so I'm playing along with the right tempo. So we'll get to that. So now that I've got my drum track laid down, I'm going to put in my rhythm. So we're going to do that now. Okay, now if you can see, I don't know if you can see this on the guitar here, but let me put that little down here. I'm capoed. I tune my guitar flat. So when I'm capoed on 2nd fret, that means I'm going up a whole step from flat tuning, which puts it up to sharp from standard. So when I play F, I'm actually playing F sharp. E minor is E minor, or actually F minor, because we're going up a half step, and then G sharp, and then A minor sharp. So just so you're aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to start my rhythm here. Okay, that's the verses, and because I can loop, I don't need to go through the whole entire song. So now I'm going to lay down the chorus, which is changes the chords a little bit to F, G, E minor, A minor instead of F, E minor, G, A minor. So, and it's going to go a little faster too. It's not the tempo, but the chord changes, so we'll do that. Okay, so now that we're back in Audition here, and we've got our rhythm tracks laid down, let's zoom in a little bit here, and I decided that it was better to use my chord progression that I had for the chorus, which was, let's see here, F minor, or not F minor, F, G, E minor, A minor, which actually in the tuning would be F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, F minor, and A minor sharp. And then I'm going to use the other progression that I had for the chorus originally for the verses, which was, or no, I'm sorry, the original one I had for the verses, F, E minor, G, A minor, I'm going to now use for the chorus. So I just switched them around. So they're already switched. So we're going to get rid of this excess junk here by squeezing in there and there. So we're going to make sure, by zooming in, and make sure that this is lined up to start with the drums properly. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's a little bit late. Let's zoom in here, make it precise. Let's move this right about. Well, let's go over here and get rid of this also. Got more room to move around. Let's get this right about there. All right, that sounds good. Okay, so zoom out again. Now, so we've got one riff, if you will, of the verse, which we're going to use as the intro and put some lead over top of it. So we're going to have to duplicate that, or in other words, loop it. So we're going to go in here to right click and duplicate. For right now, I'm just going to choose one time and hit OK. So now I got a second version of that. So now we're going to have to tie these two together. And the nice thing about it is we've got a cymbal crash right here in the drum track that'll kind of mask any kind of transitional things that you might not want to hear. But we can get it pretty tight even without it. But it's kind of nice that it's there. So the way I do this is I mute the first track. I'll mute this, and then I will line this up with that cymbal crash. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Move back over, and okay, that's way off, so I'm going to move it back here. That's pretty close. Let's zoom in a little bit more just to get it precise here. So I want to kind of line it up with right as that crash comes in. Somewhere around in there is nice. That's pretty good. So now we unmute this and see what this sounds like for the transition. Sounds okay, but we got to get rid of this overlap. So we're going to squeeze this back as much as we can. We want a little bit of overlap because otherwise we'll end up with a dead space in there. But let's try this. It's not too bad. I think we can get just a little bit more of that overlap out of there. Perfect. And now that cymbal crash covers up anything. So at the end of the day, you're not going to know, the end listener's not going to know that that's a double track there. That's a looped track. It's going to sound like one continuous. So now we're going to add on the first chorus. So we're going to zoom back in. We're going to do the same thing here as we did there. So let's mute this one. Get this lined up with our drums. Okay, that's got to scoot back to about there. Okay, it's a little bit off. Let's zoom that in a little bit. Pull that back just a hair. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So now with this one, that's okay, but we got to get rid of this. Especially going from verse to chorus, we definitely don't want any kind of overlap. So get that as far as we can. Perfect. So now what we've got all together here is we've got our drum track, we've got our first part of the verse, or the intro rather, first verse, first chorus. So that's about all we need to lay down as far as rhythm goes for right now until we get some lead and vocals in there. So that's what the beginning is going to sound like right there. So the next thing we're going to do is some lead. So let's do that. Okay. So now we're going to lay down our lead tracks, or at least the intro lead track. And I know you can't see my face, but hopefully you can see the guitar here. So I'm plugged in, I'm ready to go here with Audition, and let's lay down some lead. By the way, this is in key of A, so I'm going to use, or key of A minor, so that's what I'm going to use. So that's about all we really need for the intro of the song. We don't want it to drag on and on at the beginning of the song. So let's get back to Audition, and I'll show you that. Okay, so now we're back here in Audition, and you can see the new recording here from the lead guitar that I just laid down. So let's do some trimming up and some editing on this. Well, not really editing, but we do need to trim this up. Let's pull this back. Get rid of any extra. Let's pull this back here. And now we can listen to what this sounds like all together. So we'll start from the beginning. Okay, I can see it's way too low, so we're going to turn that up a little bit. Let's do about 7. Now, I believe I might still have within the mixer. Yeah, I've got some reverb turned on here in the mixer, which is usually what I put on my lead. So turn that up a little bit more. Back to the main screen. Actually, if I go in here and take off the reverb effect, see what it sounds like. Just as it was recorded. And then as we come out of the lead, got that little drum roll there, starting back into the to the beginning of the verse riff, so that's where the vocals will come in. So you can see now how it's starting to already sound like a finished song, at least the beginning of a finished song. I may redo that lead. I'm not sure I'm liking that too much. So now comes the fun part, the vocals. So we're going to get to that here momentarily. Well, actually, let's do that right now. 9 days gone by since I've seen her cry. Now the tears, they fall like rain, 'cause you've caused so much pain. Oh, oh. Okay, so there was the vocals, first part of the vocals anyway. And we've got those laid down in this track right here, labeled vocals. And so we're going to do a little bit of manipulation here with the vocals to get them sound right. But raw wise, this is what we got. 9 days. Wait a minute. Let's turn that off for a moment so I can show you raw, and then we'll do the changes. 9 days gone by since I've seen her cry. Now, it doesn't sound too bad like that, but I want to do some things to it. So I'm going to double click on this waveform, which takes me into edit view, and you can see the voice track here. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the entire wave, and I'm going to go into time and pitch, into the pitch correction. Now what this does, this is kind of like auto-tune, if you know what auto-tune is, where it kind of, although I'm not using it to the extent that a lot of artists use it, where they sound like they're practically computers singing. I just take a little bit of, if I get off key just a hair bit, it corrects it, and overall makes it sound a little bit better. So go through and add that, and then we'll go back to multi-track, and then I'll go back in here into my mixer, go to my vocals track here, and I'm going to add in what's called chorus, turn that on, and that adds that kind of, it almost sounds like a double voice, but I use it on all my videos, all my songs, so if you've heard my other songs, you'll recognize the difference. But this is what it sounds like after the voice, the pitch correction, and the chorus has been added. 9 days gone by since I've seen her cry. I think we need just a little bit of amplitude on that, so let's go back in here to the mixer and turn that up a little bit. 9 days gone by since I've seen her cry. So that's not too bad there. I've tried and I've tried, but her face to my mind. Okay, so that's pretty much done. I mean, the vocal part right there. We don't have to move it around because it's in the right place and matches up with the music. But what we do have to do next is, if you recall back when I said we were recording these first rhythm tracks, I didn't know how long to go really on each part. So I went long just to know I had enough, instead of, it's better have too much than not enough. But you can see here as we come out of the first verse that I need to go into the chorus before this is over. So we're going to have to do that. Let's see what we got here. Just a little bit of oh yeah in there, to kill some time. So let's see. We come out of the verse. Start a new riff. So right there at that cymbal crash, that's where we want to start the chorus at, first chorus. So we'll zoom in here, and so we're going to drag this back all the way to here. Pull this back. And let's mute this for a minute, make sure this is matched up. Oh, yeah. Okay, that sounds good so far. Let's see. All right, so let's make sure that there's not a lot of overlap in here. So let's pull this back a little bit. Let's unmute this. There we go. Now we can go into the chorus. So the next step, let's lay down the vocals for the chorus. Okay, let's do some chorus here. I think we got it down.
Memories don't fade quite as they should. Hill is so high and my memories won't die.
Okay, so same process as we did before. We got the chorus recorded now. So basically, all we're gonna do is we're gonna obviously trim this up here so it doesn't cover up the verse. Take a little bit off this end here, and we'll double click, go into the edit view here, select the wave, go to effects, go down to time and pitch correction. I've already got my settings in there. I'll hit OK. Then I'll go back to multi-track. And in the mixer, the chorus is already on, so we don't need to add that. So now we'll just go back in and listen to it.
Memories don't fade quite as they should. Hill is so high and my memories won't die. I tried and tried as those 90s went by. Oh God, I pray make these feelings go away.
So not bad. I may end up doing some finishing touches to it later. I don't know. At this point, I think it sounds okay. So now we've also got to manipulate the rhythm again because the chorus ended, and we've got plenty of music left over here, plenty of guitar riff left over. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave one run of the riff in between and in between going to the next chorus. So here, where this one ends,
Go away.
so right there is where the new riff starts. So we'll let that run through. And again, on our crash cymbal, we're going to squeeze that in there. Now we need another piece of the verse. So we're going to go here and just going to copy that. Go over here, paste it. Let's zoom in, go back over here. We're going to do the same transitional thing here. So we're going to mute this track, line this up with the drums. Okay, that's a little early. Let's move that over. Now it's too late. Let's go back it up. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So now we can unmute that. As you can see, we're transitioning back to the verse. But we do need to get rid of that overlap a little bit. Let's take that back. For some reason that doesn't sound right to me. Let's see, maybe this needs to go back just a hair. Let's go back here. I think it's because it's a little lower in volume. So to get rid of that issue, usually what I do is I'll take a gradual lowering of the amplitude here at the end so that it sounds better. Something like that. As you see how it goes down a little bit on this part. Even though there's the same volume over here, the reason for that is because this is kind of the beginning of it, and it kind of crescendos or whatever you call that term, where it gets kind of louder. I kind of tend to do that with my guitar for some reason. Get louder as I go along. As you can see here, it starts out a little lower and gets louder. Yeah, so that's okay. I don't think that's going to be much noticeable. So now we've got our little one-run riff period here after the chorus. Right here. E minor, G, minor, and then we go back into the verse. F, E minor, I'm sorry, G, E minor, and A minor. So now we need to go back and record the second verse. Let's do that right now.
Ways you made me feel will always be with me. The way she said she'd stay, she made me believe.
Okay. I went ahead, instead of just recording the next verse, I went ahead and did the rest of the vocals just for the sake of time. So that included the third verse, the third chorus, and then the little outro part that little 2-line outro that you can see here that I wanted to put in right there. So the only thing left to do now to complete the song is to add in the lead, the short solo between the first chorus and the second verse, and then the long solo between the second chorus and the third verse. So I got to get those tracks down, but you can see here why I need 2 tracks for rhythm, because it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. That way, I don't have to, because if I'm writing a song that I'm not sure the exact layout, how, where the chorus is going to go, where the verse is going to go, if there's going to be a bridge, if there's not going to be a bridge, where the solos go in. This way, I don't have to know all that before I start recording my rhythm, because if I didn't do it this way, I'd have to know exactly when to stop, go into the chord change for the chorus, then go into a bridge and know where the solos are going to be and all that stuff ahead of time. So I'd have to lay all that out, and then if I wanted to make any changes, I'd be kind of screwed unless I wanted to re-record it. So this way, I establish a verse riff, I establish a chorus riff, and then I figure out whether I want the chorus or the verse riff to start the song, and then I just manipulate it like this to where I can change it however I want as the song builds and progresses. So one of the last things I do is I take, let's see, I had to duplicate the drums because I didn't have a drum track long enough. So what I do is I take the tracks that are going to go together and I right click on them, and then I group them so that way it colors them a different color, and it holds them together so they won't get moved accidentally, so that I know that that's all one track that's good to go. That's the drum track. Then I'll do the same thing with my rhythm. Hold down the control key and I'll select each one here, and then I'll right click and group them. So there's those. Now my vocals, which are done, I'm going to do the same thing with those. So let's see here, there, and there. And then I'm going to group those. And so the only thing left is the lead. And we already put in the first part of the lead, which I'm probably going to redo. So I'll just go through one straight shot through the entire song and record all the lead parts. Now we can also back off this drums because this is way too long. And we have to establish, actually we could do the ending right now, figure out where whether this is probably going to be a fade out, I'm thinking. So what I do then, what a fade out is this. Let's see. So I'd probably start about right here, and we'll take this and drag it as a fade out, just like that. Something like that. That might be too short. And then we'll go up here, put this line here so we know this is on the drums. We got to do the same thing because we want everything to fade out equally. So we'll do that, push that down there, and then we'll match up this to this end, and then start this at the same point that one starts, like right about like that. And then we can slide this over because we don't need any of that. And excuse me, this is how it would fade out then. Just like that. Beautiful, isn't it? And then, of course, when I add my lead, depending on whether I stop my lead before the fade out, or I'll probably take it all the way to the end, and then it'll fade out with the other two tracks. So we're getting there. We're almost done with the song, and so I'm going to go ahead and do the lead now, and we'll go from there. Okay, ladies and gents, we come to the end process here of the recording. As you can see here, this resembles what the first recorded song I showed you at the beginning of this video looked like. So we're nearing the end here. Everything's grouped together: drums, rhythm, vocals. Actually, now since we've got the lead done, we can go ahead and group those together as well to complete the multi-track here. There we go. I've still got to go through here and make some tweaks, some last-minute things before it's completely done. Like I'll go in here to my mixer and I'll play the entire song, and I'll adjust any levels that need adjusted up or down. Make sure all my effects are all good to go. May even add some effects to the rhythm guitar, depending on what sounds the best for the song. But here you can get an idea what the lead guitar sounds like after I've added some effects. I also used my guitar processor pedal coming in for the lead, so it already had one effect in when it first recorded. So then I just added some reverb to it to get that kind of echoey sound to it. So I'll go through and tweak some stuff, but to finish the song and get it into one track, it's simple to do. You just go to File and then Export and go to Audio Mix Down, and then it always takes the name of the session and then adds in this underscore and mix down, but you can change this any way you want. I'm going to call it 9 Days Gone By. And I'm always going to save it as a wave, not as an MP3. I don't want to compress it and get any loss, and I'm not looking to save any space, so I always save it as a wave, and that's how it remains, as a wave. And when I put it into the video editor to get ready to make the video for YouTube. Now, actually, I'm going to make another video. I'm going to make a video about how to make a video. How I make my particular music videos. See, this video was the process of getting everything recorded in multi-track and mixing it all together and adjusting things. But I'm going to do another video that shows taking the song and putting it into the video editor and putting everything together that way. Of course, I've done that along with this process to make this video as I was going, but I didn't show any of that part. So that'll be the next video. And then, of course, this song, 9 Days Gone By, will be uploaded as a song within the next day or two as well. I might even do it here in the next couple hours. I don't know. But obviously, if you're watching this after the fact, it's already there. So you can switch over and watch that video as well. So after this is mixed down, then here in a few seconds we'll show what the waveform looks like. Obviously, it's all one track, and you can make any subtle changes that you feel you need to make to it after the fact. I usually make sure that it's not clipping at all, as in distorting. Like here, you can see these up here where it's going above the line. That means it's clipping. It's getting too high. So I might go in here and, or I might just take the whole file and normalize it, get these levels down below the line. But overall, it's pretty much ready to go here. So yeah, so this part is done. As I said, the next video, if you're looking at this now and there's already a part 2 listed, then it's already done and you can go hit the part 2. If not, then just wait a day or two and it will be there as far as making the video portion. So I do apologize for the length of this video. I didn't think it was going to go this long, but the process that takes me from song lyrics written on paper to YouTube video is usually a 4 to 8 hour process just for me. A lot of the stuff that I did tonight didn't get included in the video, or it got skipped over, or got, I went through it quickly. So it is a time-consuming process. But yeah, I didn't expect the video to go this long, so I do apologize for it. But thanks for getting to this part. I do appreciate it. If you can think of any other videos as far as how-to goes, having anything to do with this sort of stuff, or video editing, or anything like that, anything to do with computers even, I'm happy to put some videos together for you because that's what I do. Just give me a comment, like the video, subscribe, give me a comment, go out, do all that good stuff, and like I said, I appreciate you watching, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, night, whatever it is that you happen to be at, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.